I have spent much of my life in sales, from door-to-door selling in high school to retail stock brokerage to institutional investment sales, even to CEO sales raising capital. And there's one thing that connects all of them to success, and that's using a process to make things happen. Sales is not a random number generator where you simply make more calls, and neither is business. Both require technical skill and a mind driven toward process, not necessarily art form. We're going to explore this further on today's Beaman Report. Since the dawning of the Industrial Revolution, the notion of operating by defined processes has dominated businesses, government, and even to some extent has grown to dominate the development of commercially successful music and arts, much, of course, to the chagrin of the artists. These processes range from the simple, a recipe to make bread, to the enormously complicated, how to send a man to the moon. But they're both processes nonetheless. Now, of course, it's easy to say, duh, that's a no-brainer. Processes run business and other stuff. But how often do businesses really focus on the processes that are employed or improvements to those processes to take them from good to great? In building, operating, and consulting with companies, it's been my experience that processes are often discussed but frequently overlooked. Simple things like strategic planning, rather than being a formalized process, are talked about but never done. Now granted, larger enterprises have created processes for this, but for the American micro, small, and mid-sized businesses, they frequently lag behind. The question then is, why don't we actively build and sustain processes? And how can we, if we don't do that, move into a space where we do? The why behind that question has very much of a multidimensional answer. But first, processes are not built, updated, and improved most frequently because people are so busy running in their business, they have no time to run their business. I've often discussed with business people the concept of the business of the business. Yes, a company may bake products and focus, therefore, its management on day-to-day issues like output, maintenance, sales, collection, and the list goes on and on. But to thrive and go from good to great, the business needs to reflect on the processes that are employed and improve them. And even more than that, they need to focus time and energy on thinking about where processes should be but aren't. That's why consultants get hired. During my time at Wharton Econometrics, we were paid a great deal of money to help formalize strategic and economic planning, down to purchasing. What seems so common sense, well, it oftentimes isn't. If you're currently running a micro business, a small business, or even a mid-sized company, do you spend the necessary time contemplating your company's processes? From purchasing to selling to marketing, branding, production, all of it. In my experience, while many think they're doing that, they're so busy operating the company, they just don't get around to it. And that is a surefire way to miss the enormous opportunities that abound as the world shrinks, markets open, and customer-focused businesses thrive.